Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Oscar Buzz. Trevor here. I'm joined by Thomas, as always, and we are back with some Oscar predictions for November. We're talking about Best Actress, one of the most chaotic categories. I don't know if there's a front runner. So let's get into it. There's been a lot of things that have happened.
Yeah, I really don't think there is a front runner at all. I'll completely echo that. I think there are a fair few contenders in this category. I'd say there's really three that I'm looking out for as potential winners. One that at a real push but feels very unlikely at this stage, and then that fifth nomination spot
could be
up in the air. So yeah, that's I think the general field where we're at. We've got three contenders, one fairly assured nom.
Yeah,
and one.
So the three that we feel good about: Lily Gladstone, Killers of the Flower Moon, recently moved to actress. I mean, she was never in supporting actress, but we just assumed she was in supporting actress. But she's in Best Actress now, and she's really good. We've both seen Killers of the Flower Moon. Astonishing. My favorite performance of the year, maybe my favorite performance of the decade. Absolutely blown away by her. Then we also got Emma Stone. I've seen Poor Things. Incredible. Like she's fantastic. Probably her best work. Just off the walls, insane. Great crafting of the character. Really fascinating dialogue work. Like amazing work. Carey Mulligan. We haven't seen Maestro. We're kind of at the time of recording in a bit of Maestro buzz because it's just premiered at AFI Fest, which were like the most glowing reactions, which makes sense. Like Venice was, mixed positive. New York, even more positive. AFI Fest, probably the most populous of the festivals.
I mean, it's on an upwards trajectory, which is always good at this stage. If you're shooting up, that's how you build the momentum.
And people are saying like it's career best work from Carey Mulligan. Like she has scenes, like she has Oscar clips. What she's doing is like great. She's doing she's crying, she's screaming. And she's in a lot of makeup, and she's probably gonna be in the makeup winner.
Yeah.
So where are we leaning? Because you can make very reasonable arguments for all of them. Lily has the narrative, probably.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Carey has the most normal performance.
It's a very interesting debate. I think the thing with Emma Stone and Poor Things is that you can't really make a convincing case for me that she will win and the film won't. Like those two feel fairly inseparable. And if I, like you and many, are not entirely fixed on this idea of Poor Things being a major picture contender or winning Best Picture, then I wouldn't go for Emma Stone personally. I think yes, she has a very showy performance. But if the passion is not there for the film as a whole, I don't know if the passion would be there for Emma Stone, especially whenever you said the narrative doesn't really make entirely sense. Like
there's no reason that people are voting for Emma Stone.
Unless you just really love the film.
They just really love the film and the performance.
Yeah, exactly. So in which case, I think Lily Gladstone easily trumps either of the other two in terms of narrative. And I think what could be interesting is that if Martin Scorsese isn't looking like in director, it's not looking like in screenplay, it's not looking like in picture, Leonardo DiCaprio's not having, De Niro's not having, whatever. If things aren't looking likely for Killers in terms of wins, all of the narrative about the film and its importance can be just funneled into Lily Gladstone, especially since she is the focal point behind most of the reason the film is quite important. So, like, I definitely think there is a very strong narrative, and a lot of Academy voters are still connecting with the performance. It's just because it's subtler doesn't necessarily mean Academy voters won't still be connecting with it. So, that's where I'm thinking right now.
Because she has the narrative. Like, there's already the articles coming out that are like, she was enrolling in a college class to do or a Google training thing for like tech management or something like that before she got the email from Martin Scorsese. It's giving Ke Huy Quan, okay?
For sure.
And and they love the comeback stories. And yes, those Troy Kotsur, those are typically in supporting, but we see these things. I mean, some like Brendan Fraser last year, right?
For sure.
And sure, Lily Gladstone doesn't have that connection. Like Lily Gladstone, I mean, she should have been in all of her favorite movies. So, I mean, she was in my favorite movies as a child. But Certain Women, Let's Go. That isn't for everybody though, right? But still, I think that there is a lot of love around Lily Gladstone, and regardless of whether people are liking the movie or not, and people who love the movie, everybody, the thing that everybody's talking about coming out of this film, every review, every tweet, every person I've talked to, just that the Wednesday, everybody's talking about Lily Gladstone. This is in a film where you have two of the biggest American actors of our generation in Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro giving career best work, and where they both have more screen time than her, and everybody's talking about Lily Gladstone. Do you know how that? How insane that is.
Exactly, for her to have cut through
she's that good,
conversation like that,
and she's that powerful in the film.
And I think the thing is, there's an argument that could be made that Emma Stone has also slightly done that with Poor Things. There is an argument that Carey Mulligan's done it. And I think this is where Carey Mulligan's big weakness sort of will be, is that she's not the focal point of the film to a lot of people. Like with Maestro, there's been a lot of different elements that have been really highlighted,
Yeah.
and I think that slightly makes it hard to get wins. I mean, we'll talk about actor in another video. That'll be an interesting debate or sort of discussion, though.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be weird for Carey Mulligan to win without Bradley Cooper. I don't think if there's enough passion for her performance, I don't see why there would be enough for Bradley Cooper. But equally, like, there's also, I just don't know if there's enough passion there for her. I've not heard as
I
much
don't feel
conversation
comfortable
about her.
predicting both.
No, it doesn't
Like,
feel like that kind of film necessarily.
that would win both lead acting. Like I think this only happened 4 times, I believe,
Yeah.
and 3 of those were Best Picture winners. Like,
Yeah.
this
So I
one is
guess if you
not
say
a
that,
top
yeah.
picture contender. Like, it
I
isn't
guess
even
if you say
in the
that, like,
conversation to win.
yeah, like if Carey Mulligan, if I don't think Carey Mulligan wins without Bradley Cooper, and I don't think both of them wins. I don't think Bradley Cooper, Carey Mulligan will win. I just think it's goes on to that.
Yeah, but still,
But still,
But
it is
still,
a
it's a biopic
minefield.
performance where she's in a lot of makeup, and she's also Carey Mulligan, which is a way more recognizable name, and she's never won an Oscar, and there are people who think she's overdue, and that can very easily happen because it's a way more, at least from, you know, what I understand, I mean, it's gonna be a way more agreeable performance than Lily Gladstone. And, like, yeah, she's,
Most
like,
likely.
maybe not the face of the film, in the same way as a lot of leading winners are, but out of the 3, she's probably the most Academy-friendly performance in the way that, like, you know, she isn't, like, have, like, the 3rd, you know, most screen time and, like, is incredibly subtle like Lily Gladstone and isn't just doing bizarre, like, crazy shit like Emma Stone. And, like, again, I love everything that Emma Stone is doing. I don't know if Academy members necessarily will. I think there are going to be people who are turned off by it. And also just, you know, again, you're not voting for Emma Stone unless you just really love the performance. There's no, like, exterior reason.
Yeah, I struggle to maybe see where Emma Stone is getting her wins from potentially in terms of precursors.
SAG could make sense because it's like a very big performance and like.
Yeah, I mean
Even
potentially,
Lily,
but equally, I feel like Carrie would be more likely at SAG.
Right, or even Lily. Like, I mean, everybody's loving Lily. You like
exactly.
Like, Lily's been going like she went viral
She
on
was
the
going
day that
out
Killers
with
of
the
Flower Moon.
SAG strikes. Exactly,
Like,
that feels right.
Like the day that Killers of Flower Moon was premiering, there was a video of her that went like viral across social media of her like dancing around in the rain, like picketing with the SAG strike, and like that, like everybody loves Lily Gladstone right now. It really feels like it's all culminating to like be her moment.
Exactly, exactly. It feels like the momentum is swinging that way, and yeah, I think if the film is continued to be talked about, Lily Gladstone will be continued to be talked about as a highlight of it. So,
and also, I think she could win the Critics' Trifecta.
Yes, I think she could. I mean, the thing is with critical performances this year, as there are a few of them, if they really all decide to start,
they could also go Sandra. They could also go Emma.
Yeah, exactly. Or Greta. So, like, Greta. I'm not entirely sure who the critics.
I don't know if maybe somebody will win all 3 even. But
exactly, like they could all go different ways. I think we're in an actress year in which a lot of ceremonies will be doing different things and will be sort
of. But I think Lily could win like 2 of 3, maybe. Like
exactly.
I feel pretty strongly about Lily. I don't.
And it also, at the end of the day, comes down to what we think the Academy will go for, and I think there's a very strong chance. Just the respect for her performance, the respect for the film generally. I don't think they'll want to leave Killers empty-handed, given what an important film it was. And so, yeah, like I'd be going.
Yeah. So I think our order is, at least how I'd have it, is Lily,
Carrie,
Emma.
Yeah. Agreed.
But any of them could win, and it's November. So
yeah, for sure.
Who knows? I mean, at this point last year we had like not last year, but 2 years ago we had like Jessica Chastain at number 5. So
exactly. And then who was it? The Globes that did their own thing. Yeah, it was the Globes that first went for Chastain, I think.
No, they did.
Oh, they went for Kidman.
They did Kidman. Chastain didn't happen until SAG or
Critics' Choice. SAG. Yeah.
Anyway. Wild year, because BAFTA did Joanna Scanlon. Anyways.
Yes, and they nominated Lady Gaga, but no, the Oscars didn't.
And
that was a weird year in actress. That was weird.
Yeah. Actors is always a bloodbath. I mean, even last year, like Michelle Yeoh versus Cate Blanchett. So like, we're in for another great year. It could genuinely be any of these 3, and at least from the 2 that I've seen, Lily and Emma, like both would be incredibly deserving.
Oh, I mean, Lily would 100% be deserving. My personal pick for who would be the most deserving is the one we're going to talk about next.
Sandra Hüller.
I think it's a shorter nod, which
also
is great.
astonishing,
fantastic pick. Best performance of the year, in my opinion. 100%.
Yeah, I mean Sandra, like genuinely, like Sandra, Lily, Emma, like all in like my top 5 performances of the year. Like I mean,
So,
yeah,
like, I think this is shaking out to be a very, very strong category. And yeah, as we say, I think the nom is fairly assured, especially if Anatomy of a Fall continues to be a picture player.
I don't see
It
why it
could
wouldn't.
win exactly. Exactly. It could win BAFTA. I could see Sandra Hüller winning BAFTA
I would love
at a
that.
push. Exactly. I'd love it. I think it'd be great. But other than that, I just don't know. There's so many critically acclaimed performances that will she actually be the sort of critic consensus thing? I'm not entirely sure, but I think she would need to be that to be in anywhere near a win conversation. So yeah, I think her number
Yeah,
is
I
fairly
mean,
short.
the thing is
Things.
that she isn't a name in
Mm.
in the American industry, and she doesn't have a narrative.
And she doesn't give a
Mm.
likable performance necessarily, which
Sure.
could play just
Like
a factor.
I really don't see a compelling argument necessarily for her to win,
No,
other than she's like just that good. But there's a lot of performances this year that are just that good. So yeah, but like I feel pretty comfortable about a nom because I think that she'll get any like she's gonna get the Globe
yeah,
drama,
most
and
likely.
she's gonna get Critics' Choice, and she's gonna get BAFTA. Maybe she misses SAG.
I could see that, but like if they
At the
want
end of
to,
the day, I just think she's gonna get in.
yeah, yeah,
Like this isn't
agreed.
like a Renata Reinsva situation or something. Like
No, no.
I think she'll be. I know. I think she'll be fine. I think she'll be
I
fine.
mean, with a zone of interest, potentially just more conversation to add to, like, there's that
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well. So
Like if
there's
that does like
it.
really well at like the
Exactly.
indie box office or something, and people are talking about Sandra Hüller, and it just contributes to her year narrative.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that happening. And critics, that's another one where like critics groups are gonna go crazy for her. Like,
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
so I mean, she could win, multiple of the trifecta. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, feel comfortable about her. And then it's like, and then we enter
And then we
the.
get to this.
So
Yeah.
there's Margot Robbie and Barbie. You got Greta Lee in Past Lives. You have Kaylee Spaney and Priscilla.
Yeah.
You have Natalie Portman in May December.
Yeah.
Annette Bening's still
I
kicking
was
about.
wondering if you were going to say, yeah, I was wondering if you're going to keep her on the list. But yeah,
Um, I think that's probably it though.
that's
I don't
probably
see anybody
it.
else necessarily having that much of a chance to get in.
No, no.
But
And
of those five, like I'm not feeling Annette Bening.
no, God, no. I'm also not feeling really Natalie Portman. If the film
And
does very
unless
well,
unless May December gets pushed really hard and it becomes
unless
apparent that
it
it's like Netflix's
exactly.
number 2 for Best Picture,
Exactly. But I
but
don't think she's necessarily the most notable in
it's
the film.
Charles.
And I also don't think Natalie Portman is like it's not a career best or anything like that. It's just
Yeah.
another very, very good Natalie Portman performance, but I don't know if that will be enough necessarily.
Again, I
Because
don't necessarily see that happening in because it's not like a being there Carter situation. Like she has a fantastic monologue towards the end of the film.
yeah,
Like there'd be reason that like it would be a very deserving nomination. She's incredible in the film, but like as you say, there's no real reason to go for it, especially if it isn't gonna be that campaign. Like I wouldn't feel
yeah,
that very comfortable predicting it unless it got Best Picture nomination. Like it got a Best Picture.
yeah, for
So
sure. For
that's
sure.
kind of where I'm at with it right now. So then we come down to Kaylee Spaney, Greta Lee, Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards Margot Robbie still.
I would agree. I would agree because I mean this is the same argument we just used throughout. If Barbie's a thing, why is Robbie not coming with it? Like that's just
Right. I
never
like we've
not
been
made
saying this
sense.
since like March. Okay.
Yeah, and I also think there are things against the other two. I think Katie Sweeney isn't a name really at all. Like, yes, she's playing a historical figure, and the performance is quite good, but I don't know where the precursors are
Oh, you
coming
know
from
who we
necessarily
forgot
for
to bring
her.
up?
Who?
Fantasia Barrino.
Oh wow, she's really dropped that conversation. Hasn't she?
We've
Oh
completely forgotten to
wow.
discuss Fantasia Barrino. So, because she's in there as well.
Yes, that's true. No, we do need to think about her. Anyway, Greta Lee, I just don't know if Past Lives will necessarily turn into an acting thing. I think it could just be the best screenplay of the year to many, which gets into picture. Da, da, da. So
Yeah,
Greta
it's
Lee's where
giving
I'm
women
with her.
talking, and like, but
Yeah,
like, Greta Lee could happen.
yeah, she could. If Past Lives manages to just get a push and people really start re-going for Past Lives and start
Yeah.
singing its praises, then maybe. But
But like,
yeah,
I think I'm fine with it in picture because it's enough people's favorite movie of the year. Like, it's going to be at the top of
oh,
enough ballots,
yeah,
and it's going to get a screenplay nomination, and like, it
yeah.
could win screenplay. Still, like, I still think it
Yes,
is in the winning conversation for best original screenplay.
yeah.
So, with all of that
And
in
it's
mind,
A24's top push as well, which don't
right,
forget.
and
And they
A24 is
won
good
last
at
year, so
campaigning.
yeah,
And that's the
yeah,
concern with Priscilla. Is Priscilla like its third behind Zone of Interest in Past Lives?
exactly,
Like, how much are they
potentially.
actually going to be able to push Priscilla?
And how much of it is an Academy film? I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if it will necessarily be to the Academy sort of taste and the stuff they normally go for. But yeah, I still think she's kicking about, and this is the thing. I think she's still there. I think Gretel's still there. I really do actually. I forgot about Fantasia Brunner, which is
But
bad.
that's the problem. Is like we know so little about The Color Purple
That I'd rather almost just not predict it or really significantly underpredict it.
Right. Like I'm fine with putting Fantasia at like 6 ahead of.
The question is, what happened for picture without Barrino?
I think so. Okay,
You
and
think it's
here's
still
why.
good?
Yeah, I think it could just be like West Side Story, except it's not directed by Steven Spielberg, so it doesn't get a name check director. Not to say that that nomination was purely name check, but very strong, like win competitive and supporting actress, grab some techs, and then it gets in picture.
That could make sense.
And maybe it even wins comedy musical actress. Like maybe Fantasia beats out, or like, you know, I mean, because they like their musicals. Like I think it can still happen without. And I had on Twitter like a month or two ago, I put up some stats. And like, you know, we don't feel comfortable with The Color Purple necessarily in Best Picture, though, is the thing. And if we're not having The Color Purple in Best Picture, like since I'm not even comfortable with that, like it's 10 or it's out for me. Like it's really bordering.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, because like if it's not in picture, Fantasia is definitely not happening, and I think it can still get into picture without Fantasia happening. So I'd feel comfortable predicting the film that's way stronger in Best Picture with Margot Robbie and Barbie, where that's like if that's going to be that strong in Best Picture, why would the face of the film not get in?
No, I'd agree with most of that assertion.
And also racism.
Yeah, exactly. There is also that. But yeah, I mean, as I said before, if this was not a solid year of 10, I don't think things like The Color Purple would be happening. I think it was only in there if like it doesn't have to ride in off of passion. The film can get
it would be number 10, I think, right now. And here's the thing: maybe The Color Purple is astonishing, and it's not number 10, and maybe it's like 5 or 6, but we just don't know yet.
Exactly. But equally, I think the other question is if it is not a name check director, and if it is just a sort of very much weaker version of West Side Story, is that enough to get in? Like potentially not. If it's just Danielle Brooks and Tex, like
it depends on what the box office is. Like if this lights up the Christmas box office, then like maybe.
I don't see that happening though. If I was predicting how this film would do at the box office, I don't see.
Again, I don't know if I have it in Best Picture right now. So
exactly, I think it's a question. I think it's a big question mark. But either way, I'd agree. I think Margot Robbie, as we mentioned before, it comes down to a one-sentence argument. If the film is happening, why wouldn't Robbie?
I think Margot. Yeah. So I think that's where we're at with Best Actress right now.
Yeah.
I think this is generally what we got. So those are our thoughts on Best Actress as it stands. Stay tuned for more videos. We're going to be doing all of the above the line categories as standalone little videos here, as well as the tech categories. Plus, still got some reviews coming up for fall festivals and you know this whole awards season. Lots of fun. I mean, Grammy nominations are in like a week. Lots of award stuff. Anyways, stay tuned for that. You can support the Psych Strikes in the description below, as well as following us on social media if that's something that you're interested in. But until next time, thank you everybody for watching. Stay safe and goodbye.